Good afternoon, dear listeners. This is Imad Kasir on Planet FM 87.6 from your favorite show, Mind and Muse. And every Saturday from 12 to 2 p.m. we dive deep into the rich worlds of art, literature, mind sciences, book reviews, and we also invite esteemed guests to our studios to have discussion in these areas. And dear listeners, you can follow our Facebook page with the name Planet FM 87.6, and you can also listen to us by downloading the Radio Pakistan's official app from the Play Store, and you can live stream us on www.radio.gov.pk/live-streaming. And dear listeners, as I mentioned that we invite esteemed guests, and today I am super excited because for the next 2 hours we'll explore the landscape of healing, creativity, consciousness, and human resilience. And today's guest is someone who beautifully inhabits many worlds at once: poetry, healing, research, and spiritual inquiry. And joining us in the studio is poet, Reiki master, trainer, researcher, and social advocate, and last but not the least, healer, Sadaf Raza Saiba. And her published poetry collections include Like a Sleepwalker and Write Me in Red, and her third collection is In the Space of a Dream. And these are wonderful poetry books, and we'll be talking with her on her poetry also. But beyond poetry, she has spent years working with healing practices, inner transformation, and supporting marginalized voices, especially women, navigating difficult emotional and social realities. So we will talk about art, healing, spirituality, and much more. So welcome to the show, ma'am. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you, Ahmad. Thank you.
So let's start with the basic. Please tell our listeners about your journey. Tell us about your background. Tell us about your educational qualification, and this multidimensional. You are such a multidimensional person that on one side you are a poet and you are also a healer, and so many different things. How do you do that?
Well, I am someone who is, I would say that I'm still discovering who I am, basically. And I think if you are in quest of who you are, so there's no limit to it. How it all started, it started with a lot of pain in my own life, which I passed through. And when you're sensitive, you do see, feel, and react to things very differently. So, and there was always this mindset that no matter what happens to me, I'm not going to be a victim. So, and this is what I advocate as well. So I tell other people as well that you are not a victim. So when you start seeing yourself as a victim, then you go down the rabbit hole. So in my life, whatever happened to me at whatever stage, and yes, a lot happened, I turned all that pain into a lesson. And this is my process. This is what I do each and every day. I look at my experiences, good and bad. I look at my failures. I look at where I am failing. And I look at my mistakes. And I take account of my pain, and from that I grow.
You mentioned once in your interview that you convert your wound into wisdom. You were referring to Oprah.
Yeah.
So that's what you exactly do.
Yes, that's what I do every day, on everyday basis. I have a background in gender. Right. And somehow when I was very young, I realized that the women of Pakistan are very disadvantaged, and I was the one who was vocal. So probably I was born vocal and confident, but so many women around me, they were not. So I realized that it is somehow my duty to assist, help, or show women what they can be. They will not be me, but they can be themselves. So very early on, when I was in my teens and 20s, I started working on women issues, and I did a lot. I'm very, I'll not say I'm proud of it, but I say that yes, there is deep satisfaction in whatever I have done in my life. And yes, helping others, I have grown myself as well.
That is really inspirational. Ma'am, what difference do you see? You just mentioned that when you were too young, you started working on women issues. So, in those days and now, do you see any difference, or are the issues same, or are they become more complicated?
Issues are the same. The level of awareness is there, but not that much. The thing is that many things, the social norms are not changing. People are not changing. If there is change, it is on a very surface level. There are laws to protect women. In those days, there were no laws. But laws are of no use if they are not implemented and if people do not know about them. So if you do not know that there is something there to protect your rights.
So awareness is another issue, like
awareness, implementation, all these.
Implementation and awareness, and you are in this process of. So this is really great. When you look back, what do you think, that poetry found you first, or this spirituality or healing?
I think some of us are born with this thing inside of, it's there. At some level, a spiritual awakening happens. It happens when you pass through certain things and when you sit with yourself.
Does it happen with everyone?
No.
Oh, that was
No.
Fine.
No. And it is a dain. It is a blessing.
Yes.
Ata. So when it is given to you, it is given, of course, it happens when you sit with yourself, when you sit with your pain, as I said, when you stop thinking of yourself, ke mere saath kyun hua? Why is it happening to me? When you say, ke, okay, this happened and now I need to grow from it, I need to learn from it. So anyone who is in quest of this will have a spiritual awakening.
Seek and you shall receive.
Yes.
So that is, as they say. Right. So you were you just mentioned that you were on this path of spiritual awakening. So when did you realize that you can write poetry also?
Yes, that is very early. So I started writing, I started reading very early. I was in grade 1 or 2 when I was reading.
That is really something very interesting, because when we see people these days, even poets with published books, if you ask them, they don't read at all. They will be having their published books under their belt, but they won't be reading. And if you ask them who are your favorite poets, and they will proudly say that I haven't read even, for instance, if we talk about Urdu, I mean, that's not our issue, but I really am inspired and impressed that you mentioned that you were in grade 1.
I started reading.
You started reading.
I started writing in grade 4. I still remember, I still remember my first stories, and there was this Baraf Shahzadi and there was another one, and I was very proud. I showed all, because my father is very literary, so he used to read and he used to feel, and he was, basically my father is the one who was very much in literature, and he used to read stories to us, he would tell us stories, and that is probably what started this thing within me.
And this is really great. And dear listeners, Sadaf Raza Sahiba, she comes from a very highly literary family of Pakistan, and people know that Mustafa Zaidi Sahab was a well-known and one of the finest and one of the most prominent Urdu poets of our country. And Madam Sadaf Raza, she comes from that family. So I personally think, and this is my view, that this reading and writing and poetry and creativity that runs
In the family.
in the family.
Yeah.
So do you really think, ma'am, that this is one of the core reason that you were lucky enough that your family and you saw all such literary,
No.
Okay.
My father was reading, he was into literature, but not that much. He was not writing. And I started writing. Writing gave me a release as well. Later on, I discovered that it is not just for the pleasure of it. I am also doing catharsis.
It is catharsis, absolutely.
Yes. So, and it helped me. And when I was in my school, like 7th or 8th, I started writing poetry. I used to write very bad poetry in Urdu. But I have written in Urdu as well. And I discovered writers. I would consume a book. I would not say read. I would consume one book a day. That was my thing.
And that was in your school days?
Yes, my school days.
Okay, that's great.
Every day. This is like, I was not ever interested in the course books. And my refuge, my heaven, my everything were books.
In one of my interviews, I was asked that, gentlemen, tell us the names of the books apart from your curriculum, apart from your course books. What have you read? So I think reading other than your course books is the actual reading that you do, because we see people, professionals, for instance, if someone is in the field of medical or banking or engineering, they are at the peak, but apart from their own professional books, they haven't even touched any other book.
Yeah.
So this is something very I must say that it shouldn't be the case. So you were not among those. You were reading everything beyond your...
I used to read everything. I read trash, good books, literature, contemporary, decided that I am not into classics, decided that I don't like this writer. And of course, like I call certain writers my gurus or my mentors, like Gabriel Garcia.
Can you please name a few writers or books
which you... I love Milan Kundera. I love Gabriel Garcia. And Gabriel Garcia, my mentor, I would say guru. Magic realism. I just love magic realism. I have read Ayn Rand.
Great. This is
because I'm
wonderful.
all for individuality.
This is really
so,
great.
Because that was one writer which was kept away from the young people at that time. But I read Ayn Rand. And I have read Peter Mason, and I have read that character. I have read detective stories and so many things. As I said, I have even read, of course, I'm not going to say anything, but Sidney Sheldon and
these are
Harold Robin, and name it, and I've read it. I have read a lot. Recently Alif Shafaq, Orhan, all these Arundhati Roy, everyone, Pakistani writers as well.
This is really great that you have read all these wonderful authors, and that must have shaped your thinking also.
Yes.
Because unless you read different philosophies and different writers and fiction and all these things, they shape your thinking process. So this is really wonderful. So you work in language and energy. So poetry and Reiki, don't you think these are two different things, two different medium?
Well, when I of course, like my later years in life, I used to, when I realized that the women are disadvantaged, of course, I was writing in the newspapers at that time about issues and stuff, and advocating at different forums as well about the rights of the women. Somehow my poetry and my writing was shaped around women issues. So even when I was young, I was not writing romantic poetry. I was writing on women issues. And if you have seen my books, my books carry that pain, they carry that suffering, that they carry whatever women in this society they pass through. Of course, the language is English, but the issues are very much us.
And the book's title, Write Me in Red, that also is like...
Rage.
Yes,
I'm raging in that book.
Right.
I'm very angry in that book.
Yes, the title shows that. And in your books, you have also written about women issues. And you mentioned that your Urdu poetry, you yourself, you weren't satisfied with that. So how is your English poetry, and what was the response on your English poetry? You were mentioning in an interview that your poems have been translated into other languages,
Urdu.
also in Urdu. Right. So, ma'am, have you ever thought to write apart from poetry? I mean, since you are into this healing stuff, and you heal people and you tell them their energy stuff. So, have you ever thought to write a book about healing?
Well, I have written poems and I have written a novel. It's been lying with me for the last 26 years now. And recently I have decided to...
Get that published?
Yes. Take it out, look at it, read it again. Because the girl who wrote that novel is not there anymore.
Why?
Because I have grown from that person, and I don't see, because my first book, Like a Sleepwalker, was a self-discovery and self-exploration, and there was a lot of pain, and there was like this hesitation to own my own experiences. So that is where I am saying she or her and all that. When I am going to go through my novel, and I am thinking of publishing it. The name of that is, and it has changed different, like I have selected from different time, different name. The first name was Her Different Deaths. Then I decided to name it The House of Balconies, because it carries a lot of my childhood, and there is this house in Peshawar with balconies, old architecture, Hindu architecture, still there standing.
These old houses in that Kesa Khani area and in the old city.
Yeah, in Sadar. So it is still standing there. It still has the balconies. And then there was a spiritual experience with me in one of my jobs when I was working in Chandbagh School. I worked a lot as well, still working. And then I came upon this name of Season of the Dying Crows.
That's wonderful.
Because it has a very mystical and spiritual connection to my life and what I'm doing. There's a certain part, a few months in my life when things are very different. And when I discovered this thing, and I related to this occurrence of, okay, I will tell you. So if you know this school, Chandbagh School, it's a boarding school, and I worked there way back in late 90s and early 2000s. So there was like in October and November when I would walk towards my office. I used to be the admission officer, later registrar of that school. I would find the ground littered with the bodies of the crows. You don't see birds, dead birds in nature, especially crows as well, because they are very social animal, and they are very, and it was very strange because in those 2 months I would feel a change within myself as well, October and November. So I still carry these 2 months, and they have a very mystical, magical meaning for me. So my book is now Season of the Dying Crows.
That is really wonderful title, and many other people would also have seen those crows. But when someone sensitive like you, when someone who is on this path, when they see such thing, they write a book on it, and this is the difference between a common man and a writer or a poet, so this is really.
You were talking about healing and writing about
yes,
healing. That is, I'm coming to. I just don't know whether I'm able to write about healing, because when I came to healing, it was not by design. My parents wanted me to become a doctor. I rebelled and said, I'm not going to be a doctor ever. And imagine 20 years down, 25 years, I'm healing people. Not healing, a channel of healing. We can never say this word because we never say it. Channel of healing. And my practice is basically based on, and this is what I believe. I believe that whoever needs to find healing or get healed through me, Allah will make me a channel for that person. That person will find me. I will find that person.
Yes, that is absolutely the fact. And your parents wanted you to heal people in a different way, and you are doing the same, but on a different level. They wanted you to heal people on their physical level, and you are doing that on their energy level. So, ma'am, how do you see others' energies, and isn't it a phenomenon which is very like in our society? People do you think people understand such things? Do they really know what these energies and healing and energy healing is all about?
There is a lot of misinformation, and there's a lot of bad stuff circulating around these topics.
Yes.
And the way it is used in our societies, where there is very less awareness and knowledge, it's really scary. People do not know. We call it holistic healing.
Right.
A holistic healing is something which is not only for the body, because you're having migraines. For a doctor, probably will describe you a medicine to manage that migraine.
Yes.
The doctor is not going to address where it is coming from. So in a holistic healing, we do not only heal the body, we heal energy, that is who you are, because you're not only your body.
Absolutely.
Your energy as well. And you're not only your emotions, you're not
Yes.
only your thoughts.
Yes.
So the problem with all of us is that we see ourselves at the most as a body,
Yes.
as a mind,
In this
and
3D
as
physical
emotions.
dimension, we only see that, and our physical body is the last place where that disease is manifested. That generates somewhere else. And we hardly know about that. So how do you, if someone reaches out to you, and as you just mentioned, whoever is like destined to see you, they will come to you. So are they already convinced that they will be having that energy treatment from you, or do you need to convince them at that moment also?
No, I don't need to convince them.
All right.
See, the thing is that if you are seeking to heal yourself, Allah will open up channels, wasilas for you in this world. It could be medicine, doctor, person, friend, treatment, place, anything. The intention, the commitment to heal yourself needs to come from you. Once you decide that I want to get healed, you will find the right person, the right channel, the right medicine, the right doctor, the right healer. So it's not my job to convince anyone. Those who find me, they come to that. Of course, they may not know about Reiki, they may not know about what I do. Yes, we have a discussion around that, but I don't need to convince them.
As they say that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So in that case, when the patient is ready, the healer appears.
Appears, of course. And that is the beauty of it. I don't need to work in that way.
And in our dimensions, in these energy, it's all about energy, frequency and vibrations, as Nikola Tesla said.
Yes.
So this is all in that realm. They'll find you?
They find me, they find someone else.
Whoever.
The main thing is that you need to have that. The problem with the society, the problem with people all over the world is that most of us carry disease as a trophy.
Yes, this is...
because the victim mindhood says that, because you have suffered, because I have suffered, that's why I have this problem. And because I have this problem, this person is responsible, this situation is responsible. So instead of breaking this loop, you're caught in this loop.
We are conditioned
way. Yes.
That we see that this is, as they say, that it is decided, or this is written in my fate or destiny, and
it becomes it, because you are the kind of vibration you are throwing, or the kind of energy is coming out of you, says to the universe that this person is interested in being in this condition eternity.
And this is the entire concept behind that famous book, The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. She talks about all this, that if you are giving this energy to the universe, that you are, you have some problem. So the universe will
answer you with more of that
problem. And it will vibrate in that resonance. Yes. And that is the topic of our today's discussion also. So this is, dear listeners, we are having an insightful conversation with Sadaf Raza Sahiba, and she is enlightening us on various aspects of energy healing, and we will have more on this right after this wonderful track. Stay tuned. Welcome back, listeners. This is Imad Kasir on Planet FM 87.6 from your favorite show, Mind and Muse. And today we have with us Sadaf Raza Sahiba, and she's a poet, she's a healer, she's a transformer, she's a wonderful person to talk about. So before the break, we discussed healing. We discussed we discussed about her interest in poetry. Ma'am, you have 3 published collections of English poetry. If you just share any of your poem with us, with our listeners.
Okay, so this is something which is there in my 3rd book, In the Space of a Dream. This book is all about my spiritual journey.
And this was published in 2017. Your first book came out in 2003. That was
Like a Sleepwalker.
2003. Then second in 2012. That was Write Me in Red. And this third. And we have heard that your 4th book is around the corner. Are you? But I think that you just mentioned before the break that you want to publish your novel first, because you think.
Probably if I'm going to publish, I'm still sitting on both the things.
All right. So we, as reader, we would like that both these books also get published soon. So you were
So this one is it's the foreword of the In the Space of a Dream. That is the 3rd. And this is again saying it's a very okay, I'll just read it, and of course all of you will understand.
Please.
To exist in every moment, to undo my existence full circle. I am stretched over eons. I have come full circle.
Wonderful. Such a beautiful. And
if you remember that when we were young, we used to play this game that you have to draw a circle and there is a dot inside.
Yes.
Without raising your finger, from that dot you have to draw the circle.
You have to complete that circle.
So it is this is how I see myself.
This is very...
from that dot to that circle, from that circle to the dot.
This is wonderful. This really is wonderful, and this is very spiritual also, and all your poetry and even the titles of your books, like this one, that apart from that book, Write Me in Red, the other two books, the titles
like
also,
like a sleepwalker.
like a sleepwalker, in the space of a dream. Both these titles also tell a lot about the themes in those books, because these and you rightly mentioned in your intro also that your poetry was not that typical romantic one, and you were in right from the start you were writing for women. On women issues.
Yeah.
And apart from those women issues, whatever you write, that has a spiritual aspect also.
Yes.
So this is really great. Any other poem if you...
Yes, there is something, it's very close to my heart, and I have folded and tucked your last lingering gaze in an amulet.
Wow.
I wear it in place of my eyes.
That's great.
I have breathed sweet words of reverence on my open and folded palms. And from the cuffs of my hands, dreams took wings, and yearnings turned into a stream.
This is wonderful, beautiful.
So yeah, again from In the Space of a Dream.
In the space of a dream. So, in the space of a dream. So, ma'am, let our listeners know that in this world of spirituality, in this world of healing, how do you see that if someone, and as they say, you also mentioned in the intro that when someone is wounded, and mostly when we talk about these healers, they while going through their own journey of healing, when they realize that they may become a healer also, because in the first place they are healing themselves.
Yeah.
So how do you see that people who come up to you, most of them are wounded, and as Rumi once said, that wound is a place where light enters. So you healers believe more in this statement, in this line of Rumi. So when they visit you, how do you start their how do you start treating them?
Yeah.
I mean, in the first place, do you tell them that this is what has happened and what will be the process? Because for every person, I mean, it's not that typical when we go to a doctor for instance, any kind of pain or headache or toothache or anything, and they give you a certain tablet. But in your case, in this spiritual dimension, every person has a different trajectory, every person has a different journey, every person, wounds may seem similar, but the treatment isn't similar. You treat people as per their energy dynamics. So how do you do that?
Well, I say that my practice is based on love.
Everything is based on love,
Yeah.
this entire universe.
Yes, but when I say it, what I mean by
Right.
this is that when the people they come to me, I give them time, energy, space, completely non-judgmental. And I
Energy,
accept
time, and space.
Space, yeah.
And people usually don't give these things to others, even to their closest ones.
I carry my clients within my heart. That's what I say. That's why once they are healed, we call them clients, we don't call them patients.
Of course.
So once they are healed, for lifelong, they are my friends.
That is absolutely natural.
Yeah, and I have I call it soul tribe.
Yes.
I have a soul tribe. So when they come to me, of course, there is that space where they can talk about anything and everything. And when they're talking, of course, they're airing out whatever is causing that pain, making that wound fresh every time. So in that space when they talk, and of course I sit with intention of healing them through wisdom and guidance as well. There is a process through which I pass through and my clients pass through. So the first sitting or the second sitting or even otherwise, the sittings are very long with me. So sometimes this client would come and stay the whole day with me. So we talk.
And
we
you
talk.
take sessions online also?
Yes, I do that. And even on like Zoom and WhatsApp, we'll be a whole day talking about things and, starting from their childhood. Because in this healing, we have to decide the intention, what they need to heal. Sometimes, rather most of the times, clients, they don't know.
That was my next question.
Yes.
That do they exactly know that?
They don't know because they come through only for symptoms. They come
Yes.
because they have a physical problem. They come because they have a psychological problem. So they understand only the symptoms. They understand what the doctors are saying. They understand what their family is saying. But they do not understand where they need to get healed. So we go through their childhood to all their stages of life. We examine together where went wrong. And we discuss. And then I set out to give them some homework, which I give.
Are they open enough to, tell you everything?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Because that's what I said. I give them the space.
And once they feel comfortable, they start telling you everything.
Under the sky, everything. You can think of a topic, you can think of a situation on which this society would probably have a blast, and it is acceptable to me. Because when I am a healer for that person or channel of healing for that person, it is my duty to be the last non-judgmental person.
Absolutely.
So I do that. Once it is finished, yes, I make them realize that, this is where the wisdom comes in. I always say that I channel the divine wisdom.
Wonderful.
Because, you need to realize we don't put masters and all that kind of stuff. The more we grow into this, we stop using all these things.
Yes.
Okay? Because there is no mastery of anything.
Yes.
You are a basic person, and in the right situation, if you're open, the divine guidance comes to you.
You're a vessel, and
yes,
absolutely.
You have to make yourself clear.
Absolutely.
You have to be present for that person or in that situation, and the guidance comes. So when the divine guidance comes, through that divine guidance, of course, I tell them what they need to do. This is the first phase. The second phase of healing is when we go into a deep, two ways of doing it. One says being silent and putting my hands. That's a conventional method, energy healing. The other is, which I practice because my clients are mostly on Zoom and all over the world. What I do is that we go into a deep trance meditation. Again, this is where I am channeling the divine guidance, and I am talking about the things which most of them sometimes they don't even share with me. There are things they share, as you said, and there are things they
don't
forget to mention, or they think that it's not relevant. So even those things, they come out in that session. And that session, the client needs to record, because that session needs to be listened to a couple of times. So I do 5 consecutive healings in 4 to 5 weeks, in which, mashallah, 70 to 80% of healing takes place. And they stay connected. After that, they can do further, sessions, or they can do it once a month, once in 2 months. And they seek me out even otherwise. So sometimes I'm there and they call me at 11 o'clock at night, and there is some emergency, and I talk to them. They come over, they have a cup of tea with me. So, they're calling me at all odd hours. They need me. Sometimes I even go to their place if there is an emergency. They come to me. So as I said that, because I am asking Allah to give me clients of the same vibration that I am. Because once you find that soul connection, healing becomes easier. I don't need to convince anyone.
And you mentioned that soul tribe, and as they say that your vibe attract your tribe.
Yeah.
So you attract that kind of, clients, as you mentioned. So how important is for a healer herself to be in that, to keep that energy reservoir full, because as we see that while working in this energy realm,
Domain,
in that domain, in that dimension, we see that like someone coming up to you, definitely they have their energy problems, and when you are working on them, so how to keep yourself in a your energy safe, how to keep your energy balanced, because while working with them, don't you think that your energy is affected also?
Of course, there is transference. It's something which is, because a doctor is only dealing with the viruses and the bacteria. But at the most, we are dealing with a lot.
Yes.
We are dealing with people's energies, attachments. They have attachments.
Yes.
We all have attachments.
Yes, we all have.
And when your third eye open, you're doing
Yes.
something, and if the problem is caused by attachment, the attachment is not very happy. I don't say the regular words which
Yes,
people
yes,
are
yes.
very fond of saying. I don't talk about that, because that creates that mystery and suspense, and
Yes.
those cliches word
True.
that she is.
That-
I'm not going to say them. So the attachments are not happy. They can jump. Then there is, when we are treating someone in a lot of pain, we experience pain in that part of our body for a very brief period of time. Yes, 20 minutes or so. So if someone comes to me with a lot of pain and I'm giving healing, the pain get transferred for a short time, but it is to have the empathy.
Yes, that is sheer empathy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you do not feel the pain of that person, how you're going to treat them,
and as they say,
how
that
the love is going to come out.
feel it to heal it.
Yeah.
So you have to feel their pain to heal them.
So we have processes to protect ourselves. We do that. But sometimes, even with those processes, transference happen. We call it transference.
Yes.
And that is where we have to be very careful. We have to do a lot of cleansing of ourselves. And the most important thing is for a healer, and that I experience each and every moment and day, I can't be negative. I can't be
A healer
angry.
can't be negative.
Yes. And yes, we are human beings. I am a human. I become angry. I am driving. I am angry. My daughter is saying, "Why are you so angry?" Yes. Being a person, being a human being, you have your flaws.
Yes, and anger is a natural emotion.
Yes. You don't, you have to acknowledge
You
it.
have to acknowledge, and you have to, in fact, manage it. This
Yes.
is all about emotional intelligence.
Yes, yes.
Right. So anger is there, but you have to manage it. And while
Anger and negativity.
all these negativity, things.
You have to keep yourself clear, because the more clear you are, because anything which is clear cannot have anything that is dirty.
You mentioned cleansing. How
Cleansing.
do you do that? Some simple ways to cleanse yourself after.
Well, for ordinary people,
Yes,
what you can do at the end of the day, you just keep a bucket of water, put some salt, natural salt in it, and you just dip your feet in that water for 20 minutes. It's good for everyone. You clear the toxins, the physical toxins out of your system. You clear a lot of negativity. You clear anger out of your system as well. It's a very simple thing. For different, if you can put a bit of any salt in the water while you're bathing. At the end, you just put it over your body. There's a very simple visualization exercise as well, and that is that wherever you're going, if you're going into a mehfil where there are many, you are empathetic. An empathetic person, even if he or she is not spiritual, will catch energies.
They will catch energies.
Yes.
Yes, that's very common. That empathetic people, they and most of unfortunately energies around us are not that positive usually.
Yeah.
And so they catch that negative energies, and so that is visualization. You're mentioning that.
You see yourself in a cloud of light.
All right.
So you set the intention that I'm protected. My energy, my body, my emotions and my thoughts are protected from all negative interactions and negative energies. I am this
surrounded by this shield or an aura of that
light.
Light.
And light is Noor. Noor is this kainat, the whole universe. Noor is us.
Yes,
light is
absolutely,
us.
absolutely.
The light is there. So, that is what we do.
Yes.
Anyone can do that.
Anyone can do that. So that is simple way. Ma'am, please let our listeners know that what kind of people they approach you for energy healing. You mentioned that people approach you from all over the world, and so what are a few common issues with them?
My practice is 95% for women. I have male clients, but very few.
All right.
So I'm open to treating them. It's not that I have any problem. But again, as I said, that my vibration with the universe is set that I am going to do whatever I can for the women.
That's perfectly fine.
So-
And yes,
So the problems are physical as well. Okay, let me tell you how it happens. So basically, when you repress a lot of things in your life, repression is something which you put inside. You say, I'm not going to deal with it. So once you do it, and it is over a period of time,
you don't resolve it. You, in fact, just you
push it down.
Push it down.
You
right?
say, I am not going to look at it. Today
You
is
put
not the
it
day I'm going to
under
deal
the
with
table,
it.
and these are not resolved.
Yeah.
So they may arise at any point.
No, they cause
they
physical
cause
problems.
physical problems. All right.
So over years, the first thing to go is your digestive tract.
All right.
Okay. Most of the time it is your digestive tract. From your digestive tract, your mind, because you are connected with the vagus nerve, and of course there's scientific evidence now as well. Then of course in Pakistan, women usually have two problems. Their digestive tract is messed up. Their throat chakra is completely closed.
All right.
So throat chakra, when you say throat is closed, this means that your voice, either you speak, you shout, you're angry, or you're silent and repressed.
Yes.
In both these conditions, this means that your throat is closed. If your throat is closed, the light passing through you, the channel of hidayat,
Yes.
that's what we call.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So it is blocked. If it is blocked, then the rest of the chakras will rot.
Definitely.
So women will have in Pakistan, and later, once it is gone, this is finished, you have autoimmune and you have cancer, you have so many things. Because these are your body reacting. We don't call them disease as such, we call them rebellion. We call them revolt. So in cancer, the cell is revolting.
Right.
Say, I don't accept this. Finding a abnormal pattern to go to. In autoimmune, your body is attacking yourself.
Yes.
So no, it's like that squabbling that is happening. So in both so why it happens? Because you have been ignoring the real things. You have been suppressing your voice. You have been suppressing issues that need to come and you have to deal with. Now you can place 90% of the people in that category. Sometimes you will say to me, and you might also say that, things happen to them.
Yes.
We do not have any. No. You always have agency. You always have agency to do whatever you want, to say no. We are not in a habit of saying no. And women in Pakistan and in cultures like us are never taught to say no.
Yes.
So when you do not say no, you invite a lot of chaos into yourself. Because your body is saying no, 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 no. Your emotions are saying no, 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 no. Your mind is saying no, 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 no. Your energy is completely revolted. And you're saying, yes, I accept. And that just physical act of it is creating a lot of chaos, lot of turmoil in yourself. And that is the thing where it starts. So you have agency, you have the capacity to say, to address, to change. The problem is we are all focused on changing situations and changing people. So people come to me, change this person. He is acting in that way. Change this situation. It is happening to me. No.
But they won't change themselves.
Yes.
Change need
to happen
inside them.
So once you change your vibration, once you change your engagement, once you change how you think, how do you feel, how you react, the things, the people you want to change, they change with you.
The outer circumstances will automatically change. And as they say that there is nothing outside, everything is inside.
Yeah.
So until you work on yourself. Unless you change yourself, nothing will change.
Change.
And dear listeners, we are having a wonderful conversation with Sadaf Raza Saiba, and she is enlightening us on so many different areas and sharing with us wonderful experiences. And dear listeners, we'll join you right after this news bulletin, and we'll be having more discussion with her on her poetry, on her healing. So stay tuned, and we'll see you after this news bulletin. Welcome back, dear listeners. This is Imad Kasir from your favorite show, Mind and Muse. And we have insightful Sadaf Raza Saiba with us. And before the news bulletin, we have talked about her poetry, her personal journey, and healing. And now we'll dive deep into these areas. Ma'am, you are a Reiki master, and what I have personally observed here, that people don't know much about Reiki. So for our listeners, tell in simple words, what is this kind of energy healing, Reiki?
This is basically energy healing.
All right.
And it is the most positive, most beautiful experience that you can have if you are getting any kind of healing, because Reiki is positive. So, and it is done for healing only. It's the life force energy that passes through you. It clears the inside blockages. It brings the body, the mind, the emotions, and the energy into one alignment, flow, balance. So once the balance is there within you and around you and in your life, because it is not only limited to your body or your emotions or yourself, it is going into your situations as well. So when you are healing holistically. This means that when a client comes to me, I'm not only healing that person, I'm healing the situation he or she is in. So once that balance and flow comes in, of course, peace and happiness or a sense of ease comes in. So this is, in simple words, this is what healing is all about. Reiki healing is all about.
Right. And how long does it take for someone to heal?
It depends on the commitment of the person.
All right.
So if you have I have seen miracles happening in one session only. I have people, I have clients who have taken only one session and their whole life is changed. I call it a rebirth. I call treatment a rebirth. So once you come, you commit that you need to heal yourself, you need to heal your patterns. Some things are done consciously. Of course, when we talk and discuss, and I channel divine guidance and I tell them this is what you need to do and this is what you need to stop. So, of course, your conscious commitment and your engagement to your issues is very much required. Your willingness to handle those things which you have been repressing, it is required at the conscious level, and at the internal or unconscious, subconscious level or energy level. Of course, once we are doing it, it is creating that kind of environment inside of you where you will not have any problem in changing yourself. It is helping you. But your commitment, the verbal, the emotional, the mental and the energetic commitment to your healing is very much required. So again, for some people, one session is enough. Most of the time it's 5 to 6 sessions, and for sometimes it's lifetime is not enough. And there are clients of mine, they are constantly with me, and I say them, I carry them with a lot of love because I need to carry them. Right. They are going to be with me, and I have them. I have such clients. So yeah.
So you said that commitment in this physical dimension. So once a client approaches you, they have already decided that they have to get healed through this energy healing. So that commitment comes automatically there. But you mentioned energy, commitment on energy level also.
Yes.
So that is under your supervision and under your guidance, because you being healer, you are healing them. So what do they need to do at that particular time, or during the session, or right after the session, and in what state of mind they need to keep themselves, so that their old patterns and the way they keep on suppressing those emotions or those situations, as you mentioned, due to which they are feeling that disease or difficulty or that energy blockage. Before the break you mentioned that if their throat chakra is, for instance, blocked, so all their communication will be blocked, and that will affect rest of the lower chakras also. So in that particular scenario, if someone has approached you, so we say that up till that time they are at least convinced that they have some problem and which needs to be healed at energy level. But what else do they need to do?
Well, as I said, that commitment at all levels is required. Okay, so we have been talking, and then issue comes up.
All right.
Okay, that issue is very much there, and we both understand that this is the root cause of it, and it is coming out of avoidance, or it is coming out of a habit. Could be anything. It could be a habit, it could be something which that person is avoiding.
Escape.
All right. Okay, something that is glaringly there, but the person is not understanding it at that level,
right,
because they don't want to. So I give them homework. For every individual, it's different. I give them whatever I channel at that time, divine guidance. According to that, I give them some work. They have to do it. These are practical things they have to do.
In Reiki, this distant healing, is that as easy as if you are having a session face to face, or like does it make any difference?
Yeah. I do a lot of, because so many of my clients, sometimes their relatives, they approach me because they are too sick. For example, they are in coma or they are in some serious condition, so they cannot give their consent. Consent is very important.
Consent is, of course,
very important, because we can't heal anyone without their consent. So what we do is that we, of course, when I give them distant healing, I ask their higher self to accept this healing. If their higher self accept the healing will go. So for me, as a channel of healing, all these dimensions, the way I'm doing, whether it is a distant healing, I'm doing a guided meditation or hands-on healing, they're almost the same, because at all levels the energy coming from my side and the guidance coming from Allah the Divine, it's the same. So it is.
So it's one and the same thing.
Yeah, it is like easy, difficult. No, there's no such thing as.
There's no such thing.
Yeah, I don't experience anything like that. Because once you say you're a channel, you're used as a channel.
So it doesn't make any difference if the client is sitting next to you or maybe in another country,
miles or yeah. I have so many of my clients I have not even seen, and they have been with me for the years and years. Now they are friends, so I have not seen them because they are in another country.
So this is really interesting. So ma'am, could you please share any experience or any where you have any interesting without like mentioning their names, that when something magical happened, or when, as you mentioned, that you have also seen that people having difficult issues, they are gone in one session. So is there any interesting experience which you like to share? And as you are mentioning that there are so many clients abroad who haven't visited you and you haven't seen them, but they are there. So of course that trust and that is there, because in other countries we see that unlike us, such things are, for instance, if someone is in UK or US, so they such things are more common and acceptable there, unlike in Pakistan, as we see this situation. So if they are, contacting you from there, that simply means that they have, trust in you, they believe in your capabilities, and they have definitely, felt the difference, or they have attained or gained results from your, treatment or healing. So, any
I have so many. The thing is that I've been doing it for the longest time. And there is something very amazing. I will tell you a few, I will share some stories with you as well without saying the names,
sure,
of course.
Sure, of course.
When I do these healings, these meditations, I ask my clients to record them, because the moment it is over, everything from my mind disappears.
All right.
As if Allah is erasing the software there, whatever is there. Why? Because it becomes too much to carry.
Yes, it really becomes.
So some of my clients ask, if they are not recording it, please tell us what come. I said, I was saying it. You were listening to it. You were into that. And if you have not recorded, then I can't.
Yes, you cannot recall that, because that energy was flowing through
Yes.
you, and in that particular.
But then there are instances in which some of my clients, mashallah, they have become healers themselves. Of course, I teach healing because I am a master teacher. Again, we don't use this term a lot, but even at this moment, there is a student and she's passing through the process. There are people who have in their own right become. There's one instance, and a beautiful lady. She's in another country. She moved country now. So she came to me because she had a very bad fall and she was in a lot of pain. I did a lot of sessions with her because it was not only her leg, it was a whole life. And she was in a miserable state. During the treatment, her spiritual awakening happened. And she found her calling, which is not Reiki, something else.
Yes.
And now I see her on YouTube, and she is becoming very famous, mashallah. And it feels so good that you have played your part in it. I have played my part in her journey. So there are many stories like that.
This is really inspirational that you played your part in her story, and now she
is
herself
doing,
and she
like someone played their part in my story.
We all have mentors. We all have such inspirational people in our stories who guide us.
I cherish my teachers. I teach her. She's a friend now as well, but she's my teacher. She's here in Islamabad, Tina Habat. And then there was a monk, a Buddhist monk. I found him in 2019. He has made his physical transition from the world, but he's always there with me. He's always
they are
always there. Their energy, their love, and that's always there.
And those like you who who are into this energy dynamics and who know these energies and vibrations, so they are always good at having those connections, and those connections these connections are disconnected in this physical world only, and in the other realms, in other dimensions,
we live most of the time as healers. We live in other dimensions.
Yes, that's absolutely fine, and who else can know more than you about this? So this is really great, and this is really inspirational. And okay, you mentioned that in your clients you deal with women more, and you simply you mentioned their major problems also. When people is it the same case while when you talk about your clients from abroad, like are they women also in those clients?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your overall you use
for women, and they come to me.
They come to you.
Men, they do come, but I'll say it's very few.
Ma'am, you mentioned that you are in this field for quite some time now, and you have been doing this, and people are getting results also. So what change do you see in this energy healing, like when you started and now, in women especially? Because we talked about this fact that unfortunately, not only in our country but women all across the globe, they are conditioned, and in a way that somehow even in the most advanced countries, and they are not treated the way they should have been treated, and they are not taken that equivalent to the equivalent to males. So what do you think, and what is your way of, because you heal on one side and you write poetry also, and in your poetry also, and as we discussed your book, uh, Write Me in Red. So do you ever feel that while treating someone with with issues which are basically generated due to this kind of thinking that they have, and then you write maybe a poetry or a poem on those issues? So does that happen?
It used to happen a lot. I have written a lot. I have written about. There are things in my books. There are stories. There are stories about real and encounters with women with a lot of pain. Like before Reiki, before I learned Reiki, and even afterwards, there is a poem about a friend of mine. She passed through a lot of pain, and I've written about it. So a lot of it is there, but it's not there anymore. In the third book, it was when my spiritual journey started. It was all about exploring other dimensions and all that kind of stuff. Now, whatever I need to say, it comes out in front of the client who is sitting there. I don't need to write about it anymore.
You don't need to write about it anymore.
That's why I don't write. At this moment, I'm not writing. It could be a block. It could be whatever, but I am just confined. Before that, I used to be very miserable whenever I'll have a writer's block. And now I'm just fine.
And in literature, they call it barren period, and that comes to on poets. We see poets that for years they don't write, and then suddenly
they write. Yeah,
they start.
I've done it. Like all my 3 books, they happened like that. I would have the longest block, and then I would write in like 1 year, and like the book would be complete. Now not anymore. It's something very different at this moment. Because the level of healing I am doing, the kind of meditations and the guidance I get, and it's basically understanding my path as well. So it's a lot changed now. I'm more of a healer than a writer at this moment.
You're more of a healer than a writer, right? And ma'am, you have you ever felt being a healer yourself? Do you feel that you need healing at any point in time? Because we see
all
that
the time.
So how do you get guidance then? Do you you mentioned your mentors, you mentioned your teacher, and you also mentioned that they are not in this dimension anymore. One is okay. So do you seek guidance or healing from that particular?
Yes. Like a child runs to the mother.
Every time.
That is how a teacher-student relationship needs to be, because no matter what you gain, whatever place is given to you, you will always be a student to that person. You will always be at a step lower. And the kind of comfort you get, a child grows up and mother can be very small, but the lap of the mother is where the child is going to find peace. Similarly, as a student, will always find that healing with love, and the love from the teacher. And it's completely irrelevant if the student has grown more, because for the teacher you're just that person.
Yes, for a teacher, a student always remains a student.
So yeah, I do. But yes, and being healers, as with the doctors, you are the last person to treat yourself. So when, yes, the change is that before I used to seek, because I have some physical problems as well, like so many other people, and I'm, being human, you have them, but they don't weigh over my mind. Like I have sciatica and cervical, and before I used to get physiotherapy. Now even if I get some problem for some time, it is very bad. It's not weighing on my mind. It's not something that I can't deal with. And most of the time we don't, for that matter, need medicine as well. Because once you carry this thing, you know where you're going. Of course, if you actively heal yourself, you'll become better soon. But
Yes.
being very lazy about our own self, like most of the people are, we are not doing it in that way. But yes,
Usually, these healers, they are kind of selfless, and they are, they feel others' pain, but they usually don't focus on their own pain. That is what.
because there is so much pain in the world, and there is a whole shairi about this thing
Yes,
as
yes.
well, that your own pain is completely insignificant.
Absolutely.
So when you are encountering on daily basis people who are carrying so much,
You forget your own
yes,
pain, then
and you just say Allah ka shukr hai,
that
you
you
say
are.
gratitude, because no matter what you're passing through, you're still better than that person.
You mentioned gratitude.
Yeah.
There are books, there are concepts, there's a whole concept in that book, The Secret, and this word gratitude, how significant is this feeling of gratitude or this concept in healing and in and otherwise for our
It's everything. Without gratitude, you can't be anywhere. Because gratitude coming from the depth of your soul, your being, and when I say soul, it's not only that invisible part, it's the whole, the spectrum of who you are, physical, emotional, mental, energetic. So the gratitude, if it comes from the soul, it matches the vibration of the universe, then it is the thing to open all doors. Once you start living in this complete state of surrender and gratitude, these are two very important words, concepts in spirituality.
Yes,
in your
they are, and unfortunately, people don't pay attention or people don't take them seriously. I have personally seen people who are not in this habit of having this gratitude, and uh, you know, they are not in that happy state, despite the fact that apparently they have all the things that one may need, but yet since they don't practice gratitude, and you a step further, you said surrender. So what would be your advice, or what would be your suggestion rather, to have this feeling of gratitude in us? How can we,
It's a self-reflection. It's a self-reflection. It can start with simple realization that I can breathe.
yes, this is what these books tell us also, that
I can breathe in this moment without any hindrance.
I can breathe, I can see, I can talk.
These are the senses.
Yes, but people don't even pay attention to these things, and we on one side of it, when we talk about that Allah Almighty has bestowed us so many things, but we don't, we are not that grateful, unfortunately.
Yes, we are not. Because the life and the demands and the more, every day we are making our life very complicated and miserable. We are creating misery for our own self because our have-nots have become so much. And that goes for everyone. I have desires as well.
Everyone has,
Yes. But The thing is that the moment you give air, space to those desires and they overwhelm you, you have to have that suit. Why? So what sometimes, and this is one practice which I tell to so many people, and I do it myself. You like something very much. It is within your range. You have the money to buy it. You walk away from it because you don't need it.
So
You
how-
just want it. So sometimes walking away from the wants, you want something, you have the capacity to buy or have that thing,
yet you
yet you say, I don't.
deliberately
I just
you
walk away. It's a very good exercise. And people should be doing it. I try to do it.
People should be, or people must be doing it. That's an entirely different, discussion. But do people really do that?
No, because we give in to our indulgences. We give in to our indulgences because those indulgences, basically what we are telling ourselves that I am defined by this indulgent. I am defined by the suit I am wearing. I am defined by the purse I am carrying. I am defined by
By any
whatever material, the
stuff,
car I am driving for
the
matter.
car or the cell phone or any
Whatever.
So why have we become so materialistic?
Because the moment we stop sitting with ourselves, the world becomes overpowering. It's only when you go deep inside yourself and you start reflecting what is important. This is important. This is important. This is really important. This is completely irrelevant. You have a checklist. You know what is important, what is not important.
That difference between need and luxury as basic.
Wants, basically wants.
Yes. Wants, desires, demands, needs, luxuries. All these basic concepts.
And people behavior as well. I need this from this person. Why? I need this from this person. I'm a mother, my child should behave like this. I'm a wife, my husband should be this. I am a husband, my wife should act like this. I am a parent, my child should be like this. I am a child, my parents need to be at this place.
In such cases, ego comes into play, and ego
Surrender.
I have had few shows on this concept, and I've discussed books like Ego is the Enemy. And so what is the role of ego and how to manage our egos while looking at it on a spiritual healer's perspective?
Ego is the biggest problem, and yet you can't be without ego.
So what is that defining line? What is that thin line?
Realization of self, who you are, is very important. That is a good ego. What I am, what I have become, what is my journey. I cherish it, I respect it. I love myself. Very, very important.
That is absolutely important.
That is important. That's the good ego.
Yes.
The other ego is bad. Where that ego become a narcissistic kind of a behavior or an attitude. Where I am for others.
I've also
I am this.
done this program on Surrounded by Narcissists, the other famous book. So, and in a society where we see narcissists everywhere, and where we see people with big egos, and where don't you think that your role becomes more important as well as more difficult, dealing with such people who have their ego issues, who, as you were giving a few examples also, that parents want their kids to be in a certain way, and everyone, like for instance in offices we see that the boss, for instance, they want their subordinates to act certain way. So how to deal with them, and what is on energy level, what is going on, and how to regulate that stuff on energy
You can
level.
only regulate yourself. You can only put boundaries for yourself. If someone is imposing, someone is coming on very strong, you need to have boundaries. Healthy boundaries are very important in all relationships. Okay? You cannot change the other person, you can influence the other person. What you can do is distance yourself and put some boundaries there. That is important. Ego in the self, when you know,
Yes.
for that person who is exhibiting this thing. The only thing is that basically you need to sit with yourself and realize who you really are and why you need to have such flamboyant existence when you can have a very simple existence as well. Why your voice need to be the loudest, why your demands need to be the biggest, why you have to be everything. In some places you can be, as I said, we were talking about, that I'm learning. I'm a very vocal person. I talk a lot. I love talking. So I need to check myself. We both, so many people, you know, like throat chakra, whatever. And I'm learning that there are places where I can be silent.
That learning is important, that where you need to stay silent. But unfortunately, people don't consider that. And you rightly mentioned that most of people around us, they want their voices to be the loudest ones, and that thing really creates issues not only for themselves but for others also. Right. So I'll be now asking a few short, quick questions, as they call it, rapid fire kind of questions. So one word do you associate with healing?
Love.
Okay, that's great. And one feeling you chase in poetry?
Understanding, identification,
Two words.
Realization.
Fine,
Self-realization.
great. And one thing people desperately need today? Again, love. You can repeat.
Accountability.
Okay. Self-accountability. All right. And it's a difficult one, I guess. One book that changed you or changed your life?
Many, but Gabriel Garcia, 100 Years of Solitude.
That's a wonderful book. It's great. And anything you just mentioned that you are still learning. And what does peace mean to you?
To be myself and to be just there with all my faculties. Be contented. Tawakkul.
And you work on people when again this tawakkul, this is also a very an entire concept. Do you really think that people are in this habit of tawakkul, if whatever they have?
I am not. It is something which you need to practice, you need to acquire, you need to work on.
All these things come with self-actualization, realization, and with practice, and with conscious and deliberate effort. Nothing comes easily.
It's the most difficult path, but that is the path where there is everything.
Yes, and we have to work hard. Unfortunately, we in an age we are living in, people have become more like they don't want to do anything. They want everything
done for them.
So such things, otherwise these things are not that difficult, and once you start working on these things, the universe helps, and
there's a lot of white noise. There's a lot of white noise around us, and all of us are drowning in that. We have these gadgets, including myself. We waste a lot of time on them because the instant gratification we are getting from them makes us forget sometimes the things which require our attention.
I guess most of the times it happens. Yes.
So our lives are becoming more messed up. Before all this technological age, there was some level of self-reflection. Now it is disappearing completely, and it is from all, like, we seriously. And I think after this is, I always say things about time. I don't call them predictions because there's such a ridiculous word, but the thing is that I see that soon we are going to reach that place where it's going to be, this is going to be technology, digital free area or zone, the way we do now smoke free zones.
Yes.
So this is a Wi-Fi free zone, or this is a no laptops or gadgets allowed. This is, some retreats are happening, but
digital detox, and
we are going towards that. And I think the realization that these things are really harming us, and frankly we all are into it, we are all addicted to them. No one is talking about this addiction, and it is creating more children are born with attention deficit disorder now than before, and more adults are becoming attention deficit because the focus is like this. There is no focus. It's just the one reel tooth. It's just coming and going. It is really harming us, and yeah, we are going to.
Is all right. So, what would be your advice to, you mentioned that included
myself.
So, how important is nature in such nature? Like you do retreats and you take sessions also, and so, and be in the nature. How important is that?
It's very important. The day when I step out on my vitamin D terrace garden, I have made on a terrace a garden which is completely green and very, very shady, mashallah. So the day I step out on that in the morning is a different day compared to the day when I don't step out on it.
So even such days also come when you don't even...
Yes, I don't. So the thing is that nature, if we connect to nature, we are going to find ourselves. But every day with this urban jungle, we are losing ourselves. And we need to create oases in our own home. We can have plants in our own home. We can have, and on the rooftop, wherever. I am a big advocate of making the cities green. I believe in that. I practice it. So, you need to have in your own home a jungle. Wild plants, not the sculpted one. My husband and I, biggest argument. He wants everything very nice, prim, sculpted. I want wilderness. I want plants growing everywhere, creepers and vines going everywhere. That's because
that natural,
the raw nature that gives us so much power to you.
Right. So, and what would you say to someone who is emotionally broken right now? I mean, if someone is emotionally broken, and we see people, with emotional wounds, what is the easiest advice for them? How can they treat themselves on energy level?
Sit with the issue. Why is this? If it is because of a person or a relationship, the best thing is that if that person, you can distance yourself. You can do a cord cutting. We disengage our energies from a person or a situation which is hurting us. We can do that. In our modality, we have done it. The most difficult cord cutting takes place with the parents and the children because there's the blood relationship. But otherwise, all relationships, you can take back your energy, you can disengage, you can be at peace. Because being hurting or in state of hurt is going to ruin your physical health later on.
Yes, every such thing has effect on your physical health.
Yeah.
So that is the cord cutting you mentioned. That is the
taking back your energy. You do not get hurt by the action, voice, presence of that person.
Isn't it that easy as you are mentioning? I mean,
it is easy. I have so many people who have done it and they are fine, mashallah.
It is easy. So this is interesting to know that, because one concept is that someone who has hurt you and you are like emotionally connected. You mentioned that, for instance, parents and so apparently it seems that it's not that easy that you take your energy back from your parents, or if
That's
for,
the most difficult. Because,
So,
it is difficult.
certain-
You have to do it every day.
so you have to
And it can reverse as well.
right.
Others can't. This can reverse.
This can reverse. Ma'am, one more thing. When you heal on energy level, and such those problems, they may come back, or as you just mentioned that such energies can come back also. So do they need to repeat that similar, or again that, as in medical science they say that to repeat that particular course again? So do they need to repeat that course, or then there is some advanced
It all depends.
on
It
the
all
situation,
depends. It all depends in the thing. Sometimes we willingly, if I say it in very crude Urdu, हमें उन चीज़ों में घुसने की ज़रूरत होती है. We are just seeking trouble. Okay? So, if you are at peace, now you are not disturbed, but even that peace is disturbing you. So you go back to that thing,
all right.
that pattern, that person, that situation.
Peace also disturbs.
Yeah.
All right.
That's why we cannot have eternal happiness. And we say that. The people who are seeking happiness, and I say that, just have sweets all day long and you'll know how repulsive sweet is after some time. So it is with the happiness as well. You cannot experience true happiness if you have not experienced sadness. And the true state of being for all of us is not being happy or sad. It is being peaceful and in the presence.
Peaceful, and you said that peace is important than happiness, right? And staying in the present moment, how important is that?
It is.
When
It's
we
your
talk
whole
about
life.
the power of now, and we see such books, and and you mentioned you were discussing that in another interview that either we are caught in our past experiences or in our past lives, or either we are worried for our future. And we in that we miss that present moment, which is in fact the actual life or the essence of life. So what would be your suggestion for our listeners, how to stay in, because our minds are programmed in a way that they keep on thinking on anything which is related to our past or to our future. And as we just mentioned, that nothing comes automatically. We have to do some conscious or deliberate effort to get something or to acquire something. So what is the way to keep ourselves focused in the present moment?
Whatever is there happening in the present, you have to give 100% of yourself to it. Very simple example from this situation I gave you. I told you I have another in the evening. There is a whole session where I'm healing people.
Yes.
I'm doing your heart desire meditation. Most of the people in this situation would be half here and half there.
But you are 100% here right now, and when you will be there, then you will be 100% there.
Yeah. Because this is equally important, and for me it is very important now, and we are both in this moment, and we are, for every second we are living it.
Yes.
And we are living it to the fullest.
Yes.
And when you live a moment to the fullest, you feel the energy of it. Yes. You feel the complete, that's what called in presence.
In presence. That mindfulness.
That is, yes. And when that moment will come, will come. Similarly, the past, chula pe doodh to bal nahi gaya. Stuff like that. We are caught in small things. Over and done. So what?
What's gone, that is gone.
It is gone.
Right. So we need to focus on the present moment.
Yeah.
Or again, I would say that a person of your caliber who has, who is into this energy realm for all of her life, right from the start. You mentioned that when you were in grade 1 you started writing also, and you felt energies of others. So, but for someone who is new or who is not that much aware, is it that easy for them also to, just be in that moment? Because we see people that if they have to take an exam or take a test, so they preparation for test is an entirely different thing, but they are in that particular moment, or if any event is approaching, they will be focusing on that, and they don't live in the present moment, and they somehow spoil their present moment for that future event or a moment which may not come also. So what would be, apart from the fact that we need to focus 100% on that situation, is that the only, or these meditations or any other exercises, or can you?
We have to detach from the success and failure.
That is very important.
Because the anxiety comes when we
attach ourselves to the outcome.
Yes. When we feel that we will fail and we have to succeed.
That fear of known and fear of unknown.
Yeah.
These are the things that, make us uncomfortable.
We'll make a fool of ourselves. We will not be able to do it in that way where we are supposed to do. So all these things, we have to detach ourselves from that and just be living your truth.
Living your truth. That's perfect.
This is something, and living your truth by not hurting others. There are some truths which are very painful and raw, and for the others as well. So you just live your truth in the most gentle way possible. Living your truth means who you are, you are. What your capacity is. I may be good in some things and I'm a complete dud in others. So if I am, because not everything is going to be with me, I'm a human being 100%. So why I need to attach myself to that thing where I know my capacity or ability is limited. And there is no shame in acknowledging the failure, where you can't deliver 100%.
Acknowledging our flaws.
Is
not something not wrong, and you mentioned in the
and start, you don't need to flaunt as well. You just need to accept it. This is who I am. This I can do. This I can't do. This is my truth.
This is purely human, and there is nothing to be ashamed of.
No.
This is really perfect. And you are a poet also, and for creative people, this solitude is important. So. And you repeatedly you said that one should sit with their own selves and one should focus on their own lives. So is that solitude important for healing and for creativity?
I'm not a very solitude kind of a person.
All right.
I'm an extrovert. I seek people. People seek me. For me, this never happens in solitude.
All right, that's interesting to know.
Yes, it happens in certain situations where I'm speaking, I'm saying something and I realize this was not for that person, it was for me.
That's interesting.
And it happens a lot of time.
All right.
So then when it happens that this was not for this person but for me, I grasp it and I understand it and I keep it and I carry it and I cherish it. Because that was given to me then.
Right.
But people have different places. They have solitude. They can do it there as well.
This is really inspirational, and it was such a lovely discussion with you that it's really wonderful. And when I just saw the clock, and it's almost the time of our show is coming to end. And one last message. From your side, being a healer, being a poet, and being an expert in these energy dynamics, what would be your message to our listeners?
Frankly, I just don't know what message I have to give to other people, because people are shaped by their own lives and experiences. And the only thing I can say to them and to anyone who comes is that, again, be yourself. Learn to say no. Accept what you can and reject what you can't. And being healthy in your mind, in your body, in your emotions, and in your energy is very important. Keeping good company is important. Engaging in things which make you peaceful and happy is very important. These are very simple things. These are not difficult things. And this is not even advice. I think we all should be doing it.
Thank you very much. And dear listeners, this was a wonderful message, such in simple words, that be yourself. And she kept on emphasizing on this, that be yourself, accept what you are, the way you are. Your individuality is something that you should be proud of. And with this, our show comes to today's episode comes to end, and it was wonderful having you, Sadaf Raza Saiba. I am genuinely grateful to you. We really learned a lot, and we and from your experiences and from your knowledge, we had a wonderful and insightful episode today. And dear listeners, this was today's show, and until next time, this is Imad Kasir signing off from Planet FM 87.6. The show was your favorite one, Mind and Muse. Allah Hafiz.